we have a case involving judicial titling, okay? Patitulo or judicial confirmation of imperfect title. In this petition for review under Rule 45, the Republic of the Philippines assails the decision of the Honorable Court of Appeals, which affirmed the decision of the Municipal Circuit Trial Court in a land registration case for the application for registration of title. Okay? So this case is between the Republic of the Philippines through the Office of the Solicitor General and the applicant for titling. Okay? Ikaw nag-claim ba nga tag-iya nga patitulo kas korte, ikaw ang applicant, imong kalaban na ang Republic of the Philippines through the Office of the Solicitor General. So, posible po na nga nailain nga oppositor mo appeal, siguro iyang claim nga siya tag-iya, dili ikaw. Okay? So, normally, appeal yun ang Republic of the Philippines through the Office of the Solicitor General pursuant to the Regalian Doctrine, no? So, the facts. Subject of the controversy is a parcel of land, part of a certain cadastral survey, particularly described as follows. So, gisuwat diri sa decision ang technical description sa yuta. That area, 4,000 plus square meters. Di na lang ito na detalyahon, no? For now, murag di man siya ingon nga relevant sa ito ang studies. Later, the applicant, a corporation sole, filed its application for registration of title before the Municipal Circuit Trial Court. Appended to the application were the sepia or tracing cloth of the plan, the technical description of the subject lot, the geodetic engineer certificate, tax declaration covering the subject lot, and the deed of sale executed by a certain person in favor of the applicant. So, I would assume nga kaning ga-execute sa deed of sale mo ay previous owner ko, no? Okay? As alleged. The Republic, through the Office of the Solicitor General, OSG, no? Entered its appearance and deputized iyang kaya di man na nila maato kay daghan makay ning mga ingwani nga kaso. Pila ra ka abogado sa Office of the Solicitor General. So usually in cases like titling, mga land registration cases, or dissolution of marriage cases, i-deputize na sa Office of the Solicitor General dito sa fiscal, sa prosecutor, to appear on its behalf. Okay? It also filed an opposition to the application of the applicant for titling. Let us see the ruling of the Cadastral Court. After the required jurisdictional publication, so magpapublish makani, notification and posting, may mga papilit-papilit dito, no? Kung asa na ipapilit para ma-inform ang mga tao in kaso na ay rights nga ma-prejudice to participate in the proceedings. So, the hearing started where the applicant presented 3 testimonial witnesses. The Municipal Circuit Trial Court, acting as a cadastral court, rendered its decision on 2005, granting the applicant's application. The decretal portion reads, wherefore, the application for registration is hereby granted. So, daog sa level sa Municipal Circuit Trial Court. Upon finality of this decision, let an order be issued directing the Land Registration Authority to register and issue an original certificate of title to the applicant, etc., etc. Okay, so ordered. The Cadastral Court held that based on documentary and testimonial evidence, the essential requisites for judicial confirmation of an imperfect title over the subject lot have been complied with. It was established during trial that the subject lot formed part of a bigger lot owned by one Junicio, no? By a certain Junicio. Later, Junicio sold a small portion of the bigger lot to the applicant, which built a structure on the lot. Later, Saturnino, who was born around 1941 and became a member of the applicant's organization, testified to the sale by Junicio and the erection of the small chapel small structure in 1952. Subsequently, Dionisio sold the bigger lot to Bernardo, less the small portion where the structure was built by the applicant. Okay, let's read. Bernardo, okay, or Badangio, Bernardo na lang, di Sora Litocon. Later, then declared the entire bigger lot he purchased from Dionisio for tax purposes and was issued a certain tax declaration. Bernardo also sold a small portion of the bigger lot to the applicant, for which a deed of absolute sale was executed. Jaime, the property custodian of the applicant, testified to the purchases constituting the subject lot and the issuance of tax declaration certificates covering it as declared by the applicant for tax purposes. Thus, these two purchases by the applicant of a small portion of the bigger lot, originally owned by Dionisio, who inherited it from his parents and later sold it to Bernardo, constituted the subject lot. Later, a deed of sale was executed by Bernardo in favor of the applicant, formally ceding or transferring and conveying to the applicant the subject lot, which still formed part of the tax declaration of the bigger lot under his name. This was testified to by a witness who became a tenant of the bigger lot in 1965 and continued to be its tenant under Bernardo. Then the witness also testified further that the ownership and possession of Dionisio and Bernardo of the bigger lot were never disturbed. Why ni sopak? Why ni question? Subsequently, tax declaration was issued in the name of the applicant pursuant to a deed of sale. This was subsequently replaced by several tax declaration certificates. No? Usually, kung mag-replace kayo o bagong tax declaration certificates niya, parehas ang pangalan, most likely that is due to general revision. No? Nisaka ang value sa yuta. For the processing of its application for judicial confirmation of title, the subject lot, part of ABC Cadaster, was surveyed and consisted of 4,000 plus square meters, with the presentation of the requisite sepia or tracing cloth of the plan, technical description of the subject lot, geodetic engineer certificate and report given by the City Environment and Natural Resources Office, special investigator, showing that the subject lot is within alienable and disposable public zone. The Municipal Circuit Trial Court found and appreciated the continuous possession by the applicant of the subject lot for over 40 years after its acquisition of the lot. Besides, it is noted that Bernardo and Dionisio, the predecessors in interest of the applicant, were never disturbed in their possession of the portions they sold to the applicant constituting the subject lot. Aggrieved, the Republic of the Philippines seasonably interposed its appeal before the Court of Appeals. What is the ruling of the Court of Appeals? The appellate court rendered the sale decision affirming the Municipal Circuit Trial Court's decision. Wherefore, the foregoing considered, the instant appeal is hereby denied and the sale decision affirmed in toto. So, gisundog ra sa Honorable Court of Appeals ang decision sa Municipal Circuit Trial Court na denied ang ilahang petition. So, pildi si Republic. In denying the Republic's appeal, the Court of Appeals found that the documentary and testimonial evidence on record sufficiently established the continuous, open, and peaceful possession and occupation of the subject lot in the concept of an owner by the applicant of more than 40 years and by its predecessors in interests prior to the conveyance of the lot to the applicant. Hence, we have this petition. So this is now before the Honorable Supreme Court. What is the issue? The Court of Appeals nasayop daw, the Court of Appeals on a question of law. Unsa man ang question of law? In affirming the Municipal Circuit Trial Court's decision granting the application for land registration despite evidence that the land was declared alienable and disposable land of the public domain only on or around 5 years before the filing of the application for registration by the applicant. What is the court's ruling? Okay, this is the ruling of the Honorable Supreme Court. So, they simplify the issue. May a judicial confirmation of imperfect title prosper when the subject property has been declared as alienable only after June 12, 1945. Mao mo guni ang pirming murag date ba nga murag diha ka dapat nakapanukad, no? This is the sole issue to be resolved. The petition is bereft of merit. The sole issue raised is not novel. Na daw kaso ani sa una. The Republic's contention sa ilang argument, the Republic of the Philippines, okay? The Republic contends that the subject lot was certified as alienable and disposable land of the public domain only on 1993, relying on a case of Republic versus Servieto. It argues that prior to said date, the subject lot remained to be of the public dominion, res publicae, in nature, incapable of private appropriation, and consequently, the applicant and its predecessors in interests, possession, and occupation cannot confer ownership or possessory rights in any period of possession prior to the date when the lot was classified as alienable and disposable is inconsequential and should be excluded in the computation of the period of possession. So basically, ang gusto ni Republic, suka June 12, 1945, until the application, moro to'y period ihapon. Before June 12, 1945, dili na to apelon sa ilang length of possession, no? The Republic maintains further that since the application was filed only on 1998 or a scant 5 years from the declaration of the subject lot to be alienable and disposable on 1993, di makatuig lang, the applicant's possession fell short of the 30-year period required under Section 48B of Commonwealth Act 141, otherwise known as the Public Land Act. So na daw 30-year requirement, kung June 12, 1945 ra magsugod ang ihap until the time of the application, dili makapasar sa 30-year period required under Section 48B of CA 141. Kung sa may argument ni applicant, respondent applicant counters that the court has already clarified this issue in Republic versus Court of Appeals, the Lagit case, okay, in which we held that what is merely required by Section 14.1 of PD 1529, otherwise known as the Property Registration Decree, is that the property sought to be registered is alienable and disposable at the time of the application for registration of title is filed. Moro daw requirement. Dili kailangan nga alienable and disposable siya sa entire period required by law for possession and occupation. Ang importante lang, alienable and disposable siya at the time of the application for registration. Moreover, the applicant asserts that the Rebeto pronouncement quoted by the Republic cannot be considered doctrinal in that it is merely an obiter dictum. Obiter dictum gali na kaso, hindi ko na siya mo main issue. Nalay, kuan ba? Nalay gamay nga side resolution or nalay gamay nga lessons, nalay gamay nga rulings, pronouncements na gihatag. Pero di ko ito mo'y heart, no? Sa kaso, dili ito may main issue nga gi-resolve sa kaso. Stated only after the case was dismissed for the applicant's failure to comply with the jurisdictional requirement of publication. Necessity of declaration of public agricultural land as alienable and disposable. Okay, kani nga topic. It is well settled that no public land can be acquired by private persons without any grant, express or implied, from the government, and it is indispensable that the persons claiming title to a public land should show that their title was acquired from the state or any other mode of acquisition recognized by law. In the instant case, it is undisputed that the subject lot has already been declared alienable and disposable by the government a little over 5 years before the application for registration was filed by the applicant. So, na daw diri conflicting rulings between the case of Herberto and the case of Nagit. It must be noted that this Honorable Supreme Court had conflicting rulings in the case of Nagit and Herberto, relied on by the parties' contradictory positions. Herberto essentially ruled that reckoning of the possession of an applicant for judicial confirmation of imperfect title, ang sinugdanan daw sa possession, is counted from magsugod gikan sa date when the lot was classified as alienable and disposable. And possession before such date, ang possession nimo before atong classification as alienable and disposable is inconsequential. Why bili, no? Why labot, and must be excluded in the computation of the period of possession. Modo na ang naa sa case of Herberto, may chat. The ruling is very stringent and restrictive, for there can be no perfection of title when the declaration of public agricultural land as alienable and disposable is made after June 12, 1945, since the reckoning of the period of possession cannot comply with the mandatory period under Section 14.1 of PD 1529. Sa lain niya kaso, in the case of Nagit, this Honorable Supreme Court held a less stringent requirement in the application of Section 14.1 of PD 1529, in that the reckoning for the period of possession is the actual possession of the property, and it is sufficient for the property sought to be registered to be already alienable and disposable at the time of the application for registration of title is filed. A review of subsequent and recent rulings by this court shows that the pronouncement in Herberto has been applied to Buenaventura versus Republic and other cases. This court's ruling in Nagit, on the other hand, has been applied to the case of Republic versus Bibonia. Core issue laid to rest in the heirs of Mario Malabanan versus Republic. In the case of heirs of Mario Malabanan versus Republic, okay, Malabanan case, mga landmark cases niya. So kung usually kung mag-law school ka, moagi ka o land titles and deeds, mabasahan dyan nimo kung magbasa ka. The court upheld Nagit and abandoned the stringent ruling in Herberto. Section 14.1 of PD 1529 pertinently provides. Section 14, who may apply? The following persons may file in the proper court of first instance. Karon mo na siya ang regional trial court. An application for registration of title to land, whether personally or through their duly authorized representatives. What is Section 14, Paragraph 1? Those who by themselves or through their predecessors in interest have been in open, continuous, exclusive, and notorious possession and occupation of alienable and disposable lands of the public domain under a bona fide claim of ownership since June 12, 1945 or earlier. In declaring the correct interpretation of Section 14.1 of PD 1529 is that which was adopted in Nagit, the court ruled that the more reasonable interpretation of Section 14.1 of PD 1529 is that it merely requires the property sought to be registered as already alienable and disposable at the time the application for registration of title is filed. The court in Malabanan traced the rights of a citizen to own alienable and disposable lands of the public domain as granted under Commonwealth Act 141, otherwise known as the Public Land Act, as amended by PD 1073 and PD 1529. The court observed that Section 48B of CA 141 and Section 14.1 of PD 1529 are virtually the same. Parehas sa Diyos nagsulat, with the latter law specifically operationalizing the registration of lands of the public domain and codifying the various laws relative to the registration of property. We cited Nagit and rationated. Despite the clear text of Section 48B of the Public Land Act as amended, In Section 14A of the Property Registration Decree, the Office of the Solicitor General has adopted the position that for one to acquire the right to seek registration of an alienable and disposable land of the public domain, it is not enough that the applicant and his or her predecessors in interest be in possession under a bona fide claim of ownership since June 12, 1945. The alienable and disposable character of the property must have been declared also as of June 12, 1945. Following the OSG's approach, the Office of the Solicitor General's approach, all land certified as alienable and disposable after June 12, 1945 cannot be registered either under Section 14.1 of the Property Registration Decree or Section 48B of the Public Land Act as amended. The absurdity of such an implication was discussed in Nugget. Petitioner suggests an interpretation that the alienable and disposable character of the land should have already been established since June 12, 1945 or earlier. This is not borne out by the plain meaning of Section 14.1, since June 12, 1945, as used in the provision, qualifies its antecedent phrase under a bona fide claim of ownership. Generally speaking, qualifying words restrict or modify only the words or phrases to which they are immediately associated and not those distantly and remotely located. Ad proximum antecedens fiat relation nisi impediatur sententia. Besides, we are mindful of the absurdity that would result if we adopt petitioner's position. Absent a legislative amendment, the rule would be adopting the Office of the Solicitor General's view that all lands of the public domain which were not declared alienable or disposable before June 12, 1945 would not be susceptible to original registration, no matter the length of unchallenged possession by the occupant. Such interpretation renders paragraph 1 of Section 14 virtually inoperative and even precludes the government from giving it effect even as it decides to reclassify public agricultural lands as alienable and disposable. The unreasonableness of the situation would even be aggravated considering that before June 12, 1945, the Philippines was not yet even considered an independent state. Accordingly, the court in Nugget explained, the more reasonable interpretation of Section 14.1 is that it merely requires the property sought to be registered as already alienable and disposable at the time the application for registration of title is filed. If the state, at the time the application is made, has not yet deemed it proper to release the property for alienation or disposition, the presumption is that the government is still reserving the right to utilize the property. Hence, the need to preserve its ownership in the state irrespective of the length of adverse possession, even if in good faith. However, if the property has already been classified as alienable disposable, as it is in this case, then there is already an intention on the part of the state to abdicate its exclusive prerogative over the property. The court declares that the correct interpretation of Section 14.1 is that which was adopted in Nugget. The contrary pronouncement in Herbeto, as pointed out in Nugget, absurdly limits the application of the provision to the point of virtual inutility, since it would only cover lands actually declared alienable and disposable prior to June 12, 1945, even if the current possessor is able to establish open, continuous, exclusive, and notorious possession under a bona fide claim of ownership long before that date. Moreover, the Nugget interpretation allows more possessors under a bona fide claim of ownership to avail of judicial confirmation of their imperfect titles, and that would be feasible under Herbeto. The balancing fact is significant, especially considering our forthcoming discussion on the scope and reach of Section 14.2 of the Property Registration Decree. Petitioners make the salient observation that the contradictory passages from Herbeto are mere obiter dicta, since the land registration proceedings therein is void ab initio in the first place, due to lack of the requisite publication of the notice of initial hearing. There is no need to explicitly overturn Herbieto, as it suffices that the court's acknowledgement that the particular line of argument used therein concerning Section 14.1 is indeed obiter, nagit as affirmed in Malabanan, more in accord with the state's policy. Moreover, we wish to emphasize that our affirmation of nagit in Malabanan case, as regards the correct interpretation of Section 14.1 of PD 1529 relative to the reckoning of possession vis-a-vis the declaration of the property of the public domain as alienable and disposable, is indeed more in keeping with the spirit of the Public Land Act as amended and of PD 1529. Yung bota ko. These statutes were enacted to conform to the state's policy of encouraging and promoting the distribution of alienable public lands to spur economic growth and remain true to the ideal of social justice. The statute's requirements, as couched and amended, are stringent enough to safeguard against fraudulent applications for registration of title over alienable and disposable public land. The application of the more stringent pronouncement in Herbieto would indeed stifle and repress the state's policy. Finally, the court in Malabanan aptly synthesized the doctrine that the period of possession required under Section 14.1 of PD 1527 is not reckoned from the time of the declaration of the property as alienable and disposable. Thus, we synthesize the doctrines laid out in this case as follows. In connection with Section 14.1 of the Property Registration Decree, Section 48B of the Public Land Act recognizes and confirms that those who, by themselves or through their predecessors in interest, have been in open, continuous, exclusive, and notorious possession and occupation of alienable and disposable lands of the public domain under a bona fide claim of acquisition of ownership since June 12, 1945, have acquired ownership of and registrable title to such lands based on the length and quality of their possession. Since Section 48B merely requires possession since June 12, 1945, and does not require that the land should have been alienable and disposable during the entire period of possession, the possessor is entitled to secure judicial confirmation of his title thereto as soon as it is declared alienable and disposable, subject to the time frame imposed by Section 47 of the Public Land Act. The right to register granted under Section 48B of the Public Land Act is further confirmed by Section 14.1 of the Property Registration Decree. The applicant is entitled to registrable right over the subject lot. Okay, next topic. With the resolution of the core issue, we find no error in the findings of the courts. Ako, that the applicant had indeed sufficiently established its possession and occupation of the subject lot in accordance with the Public Land Act and Section 14.1 of PD 1529, and had duly proved its right to judicial confirmation of imperfect title over the subject lot. As a rule, findings of fact of the trial court, when affirmed by the Court of Appeals, are final and conclusive on and cannot be reviewed on appeal by this court as long as they are borne out by the record or are based on substantial evidence. The court, referring to this Honorable Supreme Court, is not a trier of facts, its jurisdiction being limited to reviewing only errors of law that may have been committed by the lower courts. This is applicable to the instant case, this general rule. The possession of the applicant has been established not only from 1952 and 1959 when it purchased the respective halves of the subject lot, but is also tacked, gisumpay, tacking, also tacked on to the possession of its predecessors in interest. The latter possessing the subject lot way before June 12, 1945, as he inherited the bigger lot of which the subject lot is a portion from his parents. These possessions and occupations from the predecessors in interest, including those of his parents, to the applicant, had been in the concept of owners, open, continuous, exclusive, and notorious possession and occupation under a bona fide claim of acquisition of property. This had not been disturbed as attested to by the respondent's witnesses. Wherefore, this petition is hereby denied. Accordingly, the decision of the Court of Appeals is hereby affirmed fully, no, in toto. So basically, si applicant for titling versus the Republic of the Philippines through the Office of the Solicitor General, daog si applicant sa iyang patitulo, no? Si MTC gigrant iyang patitulo, gi-affirm sa Court of Appeals iyang patitulo. Pag-abot sa Supreme Court, gi-affirm gyapon ang decision sa Court of Appeals. So basically, MTC, Court of Appeals, Supreme Court, daog sa tanan ang applicant, no? That's it. Naman conflicting rulings ni Nagit o Herbieto. Basically, ang point ani, ang usa ka ruling dapat since June 12, 1945 na kailangan daw kuha na siya, no, na declare na siya as alienable and disposable or even before. Ang problema sa katong usa na ruling, inig-apply ni mas patitulo, diha lang kailangan ma-declared na nga alienable and disposable, or at least on or before ana na-declare na siya as alienable and disposable. So kung sundon din mo sa ka-ruling, halos wala na yung makapatitulo sa iyang yuta sa korte. Wala na yung maka-judicial confirmation of imperfect title, kaya di man makapasad, no? So gi-explain din sa court that the issue presented in this case is no longer novel. Kumbaga, di na ni bago na desisyonan na nila sa una. So, nindot, no? At least ma-review ta. Sunod ako basahon balik. Nabasa naman ako sa una ninyo. Kaning Herbieto, Nagit, tag-asaging kasuha, pero nindot kayo pagka-explain ka, no? Makat-on yun ka. No? So, I'll see you in the next video.